I'll end with this. The most impressive thing to me in taking over as a new chief of police is the difference in the way that the community sees the Los Angeles Police Department. And as somebody that's literally been raised in this organization, I am intently aware of the difference between 2009 and 1979. And I intend to make sure that we never go back. I mentioned it briefly. I have my two young adult children are on the Los Angeles Police Department, and if it was 1979 again, I wouldn't have supported them in that decision. But this is a different Los Angeles Police Department. This is a Los Angeles Police Department that believes in the city that it polices. That's the difference. In my dad's LAPD, not his fault, he's an extremely good man with a great heart who I have learned everything that I know about life from. But in that old LAPD, you know, it was seen as we didn't believe in the city, we believed in ourselves. And confidence in yourself is one thing, but you have to have confidence in your mission if you're going to be successful. And that's what I see as the difference. So with that, I'd be glad to take questions or however you want to run it, Mr. President.
Now we will take questions, and I would ask that if you ask one question, be respectful enough that if there's others that want to ask questions, wait until new people have asked questions before you ask a second. Mary, you got the first question?
Yes. Mary Barnett, Los Angeles, NAACP. I heard your passion about the gang issue in our city. How do you feel about gang tours of the Hispanic, African-American community?
I don't really know. I really don't know how I feel about that yet. I can tell you this. I know some of the people involved, and I respect them. I think that if the purpose of the tours is titillation, is just to show, you know, either to glamorize or to extort or extol gangsters, and then I'm not in favor of it. But if it is to show people the depth of the issue and engender support for the solutions that I described, then that's a different thing, and I could support that. So I'm very much wait and see on this. I know Rhonda Bled, and I know a number of people involved. They're very intelligent, very well thought of folks in this, and highlighting the issue is important because that's the way you get support. And I worry about this is that we've made great success in reducing gang violence. Now everybody in this room certainly knows that we have not gone far enough. But I worry that some other folks may think that, okay, we got it down to a level that we're not worried about anymore, so we'll stop putting resources there. And this is exactly the wrong time to stop putting resources in this issue. We finally are at a place in Los Angeles where I can see the solution on the horizon a little bit. You know, I can see that if we really press forward now, maybe we don't have to lose another generation of young people to gangs. So I firmly believe in what's going on in the mayor's office with the GRID program. I firmly believe in what's going on in the gang reduction sites that I've been working on with the county. I think our priorities are right now, and this would be a wrong time not to put emphasis on this. So if those tours can get me some emphasis on this, then I'm good with them. If all they do is glamorize like so much of the media does, then I'm not in support of it.
Oh, Achille has a question, and I forgot it. This is the NAACP Regional Director, newly appointed. So maybe that was it. You also had a question?
Yes. I've talked to a number of people about it. From Connie Rice to Vicki Lindsay and others. They all say that your transformation is genuine. So my question is about your aha moment. Because quite frankly, many of us had some concerns. when you're 32 years doing in any environment, you tend to sometimes be too static. So what was it that caused your transformation? What was your aha moment? And how do you maintain it? Because many of us are concerned about the 79-80 period, and you assured us publicly that we're not going back to that. But certainly there's always enough institutional conditions that could keep us there. So what was your aha moment?
Well, I think for me it's kind of a transition. Everybody here has a profession that they're involved with, and all of you know how you change from a young man as you mature. And you know, I think in my case, when I started with gangs, I just saw it as what I could directly affect myself. And I think the biggest change for me was when I took command of a large division and then a bureau. When I took command of Rampart, when I eventually took command of South Bureau, I began to recognize that the problem was way too big for any one person. I started looking for solutions that didn't just include the Los Angeles Police Department. And I got tremendous reinforcement from those solutions when I reached out to Connie, when I reached out to my gang intervention partners, when I worked with the faith-based community. I began to see the power that was there. So what, for me, I don't think it was so much a transformation of the way of my philosophy, but my realization that my methods, the past methods that the police department used, weren't effective. I mean, I've always understood that we need to reduce violence, and I literally have stood over 1,000 young dead Los Angeles residents from gang violence, and that's nobody should have to endure that. No community should have to endure that. And so I think it became obvious to me that the only way we could be effective was to change the way that we work. So that was important. I think also, as I matured as an officer, that's code for getting older. I had a lot of influences on me. George Kelling from the Broken Windows Theory, Bill Bratton certainly, Connie Rice, obviously, Carol Sobel, some other folks from the ACLU who I began to work with, and I began to see the value in diverse opinion that shares a similar goal, you know. And when I started out the conversation with talking about the similar goal, the safe community, and the power really comes from when you and I stand together and say this is a path that this society should take to resolve this issue, say it's gang violence or whatever the issue is. That's a powerful statement when two people that would normally be seen as having diverse points of view have come up with the same solution. Nobody can argue with it, or it becomes very difficult to argue with it. So there's a lot of strength in that. And I saw the strength in different opinions, and I saw how that strength solved problems. So, I think it was, everybody wants to know if I woke up one day and saw a burning bush or something like that, and that wasn't it at all. I literally evolved, and I think that evolution is the same evolution that the Los Angeles Police Department has undergone. But I will restate my commitment. I know that this works, and I know what we did in the past did not work, and I am not going to go back. And I will, I owe it to the city, I owe it to the department, and more than any of that, I owe it to my kids, because I want to make a place where they can be successful, where they can feel the connection that I do to their work and to their community, and recognize that policing is much more than just black and white cars and handcuffs.
The gentleman here had a question.